ePlus overview, step by step. So today we're going to do a quick dive into what ePlus is, what kind of reasons make sense to put a customer on ePlus. If that customer is interested, what does that overall implementation process look like? And then once they're actually set up, we're going to do a quick look at what the automatic reordering process looks like. There's multiple reasons why a customer would be interested in a program like this, or why we at Ellsworth would think it would make sense to put a customer like this on a program. So for example, if you're getting a lot of requests that always to expedite product, or they're always having high levels of shelf life issues and scrap, a program like this makes sense because, as you'll see throughout this presentation, the software is designed to really tackle those problems and help the customer at the end of the day reduce the overall cost of expedites, shelf life issues, and it just gives us better inventory management. Lastly, one thing, it is very beneficial usually for Ellsworth to have a program like this with their customers, because we do gain a lot of additional business and usually lock in that business long term, because once the customer is usually on ePlus, they will remain on it. Now, before I actually go into implementation as well as how the process works, what ePlus actually is a software that we provide our customers. So kind of like a tool that is all web-based, like going to Google, and provides a lot of visibility to different pieces of information. So things like on-hand inventory levels, exactly what is on order, as well as what really sets us apart is that shelf life piece. So we have visibility to all of the items and what is going to be expiring at what time. We provide a lot of lot level detail and traceability. And then there's also a lot of efficiencies that the customers are gaining by just automating the procurement process. So let's say that you have a customer that is interested in the program. We have vetted out the situation and what is really going on at the customer right now, and they have a lot of scrap issues. They have a lot of just things that we think an ePlus program like this would make sense. As you'll see here on this page, there's a lot of different steps that actually go into the implementation piece. So an implementation can take anywhere from 2 months to a year. I've worked on. So really, the first piece is presenting to that customer. So let's just present to them, understand their goals and objectives, what they're looking to accomplish, and see if it's a good fit just verbally before we dive any further into it. Once we have, gone through that initial, just scoping of what the program is, what they're looking to do, the biggest piece is developing the item list. So a lot of the programs that we do set up are already on being provided material from Ellsworth. But some of them are new. So it's vetting out, hey, what is the full list of items that you think would make sense to have on a program like this? Gathering all the different details, and we're not going to go into depth today, but usage data, descriptions, shelf life information. There's a lot of quality requirements that go along. Just really vetting all that through, understanding what kind of items they're looking to put on the program, and seeing if there would be a good fit with a program like ePlus. Once we have solidified that item list, we do what we call a discovery. And the discovery is really when the implementation team from the ePlus department comes on site, understands a little bit further in depth what the customer's goals are, but then they actually map out the current process as well as put together a proposal, which you see in that next step. The customer ultimately signs off on the proposal and agree to how we are proposing to set up that program. And then lastly, we go on site and actually develop. Implement the program. And really what that looks like is depending on the solution, and there's multiple ways that a program like this can be set up that I'm not going to go into today, but we can be on site 2 to 3 days, training, labeling all their product, and gathering a lot of different item information to load into our software. And then lastly, once it is actually up and running, we do a lot of post-review and handoffs. So throughout this whole process, there's a lot of different internal stakeholders that are involved, but I will not be going into those today. So now I quickly went through, very quickly went through what the actual implementation process looks like. Once a customer is actually set up on the program, I just want to walk through how the system actually functions, so that users or people that are listening into this that have never interacted with the ePlus system before have a general high level idea of how that works. So as I mentioned earlier with the item list, we develop min-max levels. So the minimum amount of customer ones I have on hand and the maximum amount of customer ones I have on hand in terms of overall inventory. And really, this is our sweet spot. This is how everything works. So once we have that item list in those min-max levels, we load that all into our ePlus system. And then there's a variety of ways that material is consumed. And I'm not going to go into the different solutions today, but depending on how it's consumed, essentially how the process works is the customer either goes up to a vending machine, RFID cabinet, or even their stock room where there's barcoded labels. There's a need for that product. They go and grab that product and essentially take it to wherever their job is. At that point, we are tracking within our software that an item was consumed. That item is going to continue to be consumed until it falls below its minimum stocking level. So let's say that there's a minimum stocking level of 5 and a maximum of 10. All of a sudden, that item is continuously being consumed and it's at 4. Our system is automatically going to generate a new order to get you up to 10. So it's going to place a new order automatically to within our ePlus system to get you back up to your max. From there, it's automatically being ordered, and all of this information flows directly into P21. So it's really nice. In the past, you would have to automatically enter an order, but with ePlus, the order automatically feeds from our ePlus system into P21, where our ePlus team actually processes the order and approves it. Once the order is approved, the material flows through our warehouse system. We do put a special ePlus label on it for tracking purposes and for interaction with our ePlus system. But then ultimately we ship it to the customer via normal FedEx, UPS, whatever the courier is. It then ultimately arrives on site. The customer sometimes has internal processes that they are doing, but essentially what is happening at that point is being received into our ePlus system. The customer may do that transaction, or we do sometimes have Ellsworth employees that go on site as well and conduct that transaction so we know that it physically arrived. The product is ultimately put away, whether it's in a stock room, refrigerator, one of our Ellsworth owned equipment pieces, once again like vending machines or RFID cabinets, and then really the process begins again, where that user on site is coming up to it, grabbing that product, and then ultimately it's being consumed. If it falls below its minimum level, a new order is automatically generated. From there, there's really a lot of different inventory management pieces that are being done within our system. And if you are interested in any of those pieces, please reach out to the ePlus team because we can greatly dive further into those. But what I wanted to do today is just provide a quick overview of the process. And if you do have any additional questions, please reach out to the ePlus support help desk or to myself, Danny Wojciechowski, and I can get you in the correct contact or the people that you need to be involved with. So hopefully this provided clarity a little bit. And if you do have additional questions, please reach out to the ePlus team. Thank you very much for your time and enjoy navigating the site.